All right, guys, we got our second game going. We saw some very, very good macro play out of Reborn Knights Black, and this map also caters to macro play, which maybe CGL White didn't know they activated Reborn Knight Black's trap card because they may have just fallen into it with this second game. So, Reborn Knight Black's started things off in the draft. So let's kick it on over and see how things are going so far. Cursed Hollow Garage Band with Genji Band coming on up. Now, we're once again going to see that Phoenix not making it into play. I like this. Reborn Knights Black have it seems like they've done some Western Clash viewing with the Phoenix band. Phoenix, if you didn't know, was basically the second top assassin in the Western Clash. The thing is, he had 90% popularity, 63% win rate. If you are thinking that's bad, that's of high pick rate heroes. That's the best outside of Maiev, who also had a 92% popularity and 64% pick rate. So I'd like to see teams adjusting to what they've learned, or hopefully have learned from the Western Clash, as there's clearly a lot of things to learn there. And Urel and Rhaegar. Urel is definitely strong. The Rhaegar feels like a bit of a pick just because of Reborn Knights having taken Rhaegar, although you can get a lot of value out of the Stormcaller talent at level 4 because of all the camps that are on the map. There's plenty to go around, so definitely can see some logic behind that, but that means you gave up Decker Kane and Diablo. Decker Kane is definitely a much better healer than Rhaegar overall, and they also picked up Hanzo, so they're looking for the boss control. They have the ability to root, potentially lure NATO off the point, and or even APOC ETC. ETC is one of the only tanks we did not see at Western Clash. ETC's basically fallen off a cliff and is yet to be found, as he's fallen straight through the center of the world and has been fried to a crisp, spit out the other side, and injected into space. His relevance in the meta is basically non-existent. People don't want him and don't play him. So ETC is a very interesting choice here, and it's clearly a stage dive ETC because they are not going to play Mosh against a Blaze, a Raynor, a Deckard, a Hanzo. There's no way, right? There's no way they're going to be doing this. Or am I crazy? So I'm pretty certain that we see stage dive coming. And we get Greymane and Cassia. So Cassia to shut down the Raynor. Greymane, though, is probably going to get bodied if he dives on in. Between Blaze and Diablo and Deckard Kane, he has nowhere to go, and then Raynor's going to fill him full of daylight. Unless, of course, Cassia can keep him blinded. So we'll see how this goes, but I'm liking Reborn Knights here more than CGL White. Now, this is definitely a less macro focused team comp and more boss control, which you can argue is part of the macro, but I don't feel it's quite the same. Technically, Hanzo will be able to get the camps and get them really fast for his team. Greymane will be able to accomplish quite the same. However, Hanzo will do it generally faster, especially with traditional build along with bosses. So we'll see how well Reborn Knights macro in this game. So let's jump on in. We got Fabre on the Greymane. We got Triple C4 on that Rhaegar. And we have Breets on the ETC. Soulman on the Cassia, and finally Pone on the Urel. And that is going to be CGL White. On the other side, we got Richie B on the Decker Cane, Dolce on the Rainer. We got GG Pokecheck on the Diablo, the Pie Maker on Hanzo, and finally Crafty Devil on Blaze. That will be Reborn Knights Black. So not even going on out saying, meh, we don't really want to play footsie with you, and I like it. You don't play footsie with people you don't like. And CGL White clearly doesn't not like this white versus black, spy versus spy situation. So, taking a look at anything strange, we still have no level 1. There we go. We got Feast on Fear coming on now. We have Prog Rock. We got Viciousness. We got Electric Charge and Thunderstroke. So, I find it interesting, the choice of the level 1 on Rhaegar. The reason is, this is a larger map. Without the additional move speed, it's going to be much harder to rotate. However, against this double front line, Electric Charge gets a lot of value. So we got Rhaegar coming on over to start the siege camp perfectly on time. And on the other side, we have the crew of Reborn Knights Black doing the same thing. In the top line, Greymane is actually the one soloing against Crafty Devil. So what's interesting is he should be able to trade here decently well as long as he avoids the stun. In the bot lane, well, Rainer will be able to fill Urel full of daylight temporarily as she can heal herself up. And Dolce does have his own heal as well on Rainer. So the clear wars are pretty even overall. Dolce can keep poking, especially come level 4. You generally don't want to be giving free stacks to Rainers since a lot of them take the behemoth armor. In the top lane, a lot of value as some really good macro play here by the likes of CGL White. This time they're out macroing and getting the pressure with their siege camp. And additionally, they took the siege camp so much earlier, in part because, well, RNG's is against them and the top tribute is actually on their side. So if you take it early, you can push this in and actually open up the map a little bit in terms of structures. In the bot lane, well, RNG's is on their side and they should have actually held off on this a little bit longer. And they pick up the night camp. And on the other side, CGL White is working on their night camp. So since the night camp is going to be much further in and probably taking tower shots, their night camp should be standing by the end of it all and be able to push on in during this tribute. So Pone losing out that trade at this point. We have Fight or Flight instead of the behemoth armor, got the oil dispersal, potion of shielding, simple geometry through and through, Aegis of Light. We got the loudspeakers, Eyes in the Dark, Stormcaller, and finally a Ring of the Leech. So like I said, Night Camp is now nice and healthy, ready to push on in and really going to start poking down that wall. So in the meantime, they can delay this as long as possible and they want to get as much value out of that Night Camp. So Richie B going to channel this for free? Oh no, that's... We got Soulman coming on in. A nice slide from Breeds coming across, and the Pie Maker going to be going down. So even though that tribute went over without any affair, like, I mean, little to no celebration or fanfare from either team, they fight for it afterwards, and the Pie Maker goes down. I hope he did at least finish baking his pie, because nothing would leave me more upset to find a ruined pie, because pie is life. So the Pie Maker definitely has my full backing. So Knight's getting a ton of value here. Like I said, Knight's getting the entire front wall. If they had delayed that tribute another 10-20 seconds, it would have been marching on in and potentially even getting well. Dolce.
Shall we see who gathers enough tribute?
Sorry, no accent marks here. I will correct it though in the future. So Soulman and Triple C4 picking up the Siege Giants, which is going to be highly valuable, but Pwn is very far forward, not knowing where the rest of Reborn Knights are. And they are getting themselves in a very nice position. And so this rotation is actually going to be a little bit slow from the likes of CGL White. But they do have a man advantage temporarily. Breeds needs to slide on through, get on over, and they're going to just fight this out without channeling. Pwn on the backside will jump on into poke check, has nowhere to go. There's the clans coming on out. Breeds on the back has to back on out himself, and Fabre looking for some kills, but will just be having to back on out once again with that disengage. Triple C4 keeping everyone topped up for the most part, other than Pwn and himself. And at this point, they are backing on off, calling it a day, and hoping that their Giants will get some more value. So Decker Kane, pretty good. If we take a look at some of these numbers already, we're going to see Decker Kane, 10k, 11k. But the thing is, it's the healing on a single individual. Poke check though? Oh no! Breeds very nicely positioned himself, ensuring that poke check had nowhere to go, but the bump is actually making things worse. Fabre taking a ton of damage here, and poke check is not going to re-engage. Tribute coming up. This is do or die for CGLY. If they give this up, Curse comes up, and this is going to be a snowball. Oh, I love this play from Reborn. They know that CGL White has to go and defend this. So what are they doing? They're going to take Boss, because this is easy peasy lemon squeezy with a Hanzo here. Hanzo only at 11 though, so didn't complete it. And with that GG poke check, we'll see Breeze coming on in, but Breeze has no one with him, and they're going to switch out for a boss. So overall, I think this is a winning trade, especially with RNGs on Reborn Knight's side. We basically have them pushing on in top. They'll be losing the well here, which means the next team fight for the tribute will be in a very bad situation, or a very bad situation for CGLY, and very unfavorable, as they have no well to go back to retreat to tap. So Knights will now be pushing in. Bottom has been pushed in as much as Pwn can push in solo, and Fort will go down altogether. So significantly more value will be coming out of this boss on the top lane. And with 10s having come online, we are getting the mosh pit. I think this is foolhardy at best and insane at worst. Now, there's the stun for poke check. They do have lightning breath available. Breed's looking for a big one. The arrow will completely with Crafty Devil getting a nice 2-mass on the bunker has come on out, and he is deep in the back line. Pwn and crew, but there's the lightning breath chewing on through. The lightning breath is not going to do enough to get a kill, but Breed's going and looking for the mosh. Well, he rocked out with his cock out, and the cops were called. And tribute will go over to Reborn Knights. Boss has pushed all the way up to the front wall of the bot lane, but top boss has gotten even more value. So like I said, top lane won that trade significantly. Reborn Knights making the plays and definitely macroing very, very well and effectively. So tribute up, they do pick up the siege, try and delay the push in. I'm not sure how I feel about this. It will delay it, but they don't want to really fully commit. They want to be soaking lanes to stay up and not really fall behind. Lightning coming on out, and the bouncy lightning getting nothing. The clan's coming on out. Fabre going to have to be ancestral, and we now have Diablo very far back, stuck in place with that lightning breath, but not going to really matter, as he will walk away and look glorious. So Reborn Knights don't really get much of anything out of this curse. They don't soak all the lanes. They are pretty much wasted that tribute overall, in my opinion. I mean, the fort didn't go down mid, bot lane didn't go down, So overall, this is a win for CGL. They have a tribute in the bag ready to go. They're equal in talent tiers, and now they could potentially make the case for a comeback, especially as a top tribute is not where I believe. Yeah, next tribute is going to be bottom, which is where there is no well right now, as we saw. Poke check, checking out Breets, and won't really be much there and much to it. 13s will be picked up, and Pone will rotate around to keep this a 4v4. Now, with the Knights, they can siege very heavily, and Pochek is intending just that, but the slide on out by Breets, he'll be good to go. Pone has nowhere to go with the Lornado in tow and trying to push him on back, but Pone is not scared whatsoever and is looking for a fight. But Knights have been cleared up. 13s are still not there for CGL White, and very, very soon, Tribute will be up as well. At this point, pushing in with the Sea Giants going to definitely be highly effective. We have Prog Rock completed, which is going to be definitely very effective. Thunderstroke is still not completed, only 27 stacks. That's not, you hate to see that at this point in the game. Triple C far very far forward. Richie B even further forward. Fabry looking for the booty of the old man, but it's all skin and bones, and he'll be going down pronto. The Hanzo arrow coming on up, getting the kill on Cassia before Triple C4 can drop the Ancestral to save the day, and Breets is taking a ton of damage. Pie Maker not going to be able to secure the kill with this simple geometry. The math wasn't good enough because he's a baker, not a calculus major. So they're looking for it. They're still looking for it. The stun onto the Breets. Ancestral coming on in. They should be able to save Breets. Breets does get out. Ardent Defender getting some value there. And they will have to back out. But Fabre, nice peel from Pone as they call it a day. Crafty Devil will pick this up. And the 1-for-1, well, despite having no healer, it didn't even matter to Reborn. Oh no! Oh no! Breets, where are you going? Breets sitting in the bush, but they spot him on out. He just manages to escape, but a beautiful stun from Crafty Devil with the slows for days and the body blocks, the bunker, trying to keep him locked down, and they will pick up the Rhaegar. Reborn Knights making the plays, being aggressive, and knowing what they can do by watching the map simultaneously. So Cassie was nowhere in tow, so they couldn't rotate in S5. With the Pie Maker, well, they have nothing to fear. They take up this boss real easy. However, Tribute spawns in 1 second, and CGL should be able to get this. Breach should be able to delay him from coming on in. There's this stun from a poke check, and Tribute has been picked up. Time for them to retreat, work on 16, and call it a day, because they also need to clear up this boss, which is marching on down towards their bottom keep. Mid lane, fort is super low. This is really dangerous what Breets is doing. He actually probably realizes that, but in the meantime, they don't know what's going on with the top boss, I feel like. They should have realized boss would be picked up immediately, but maybe they did. Maybe they made the decision. We're going to just clear this bottom boss, and then we'll deal with the top boss and try and keep this game close. Now, they can give up the next tribute, which is definitely good, but they can't fight for it at all because it's a 16 versus 14 situation. And we've seen how these fights have gone so far between CGL White and Reborn Knights Black. So boss going to be nuked on down as fast as they can get him. And taking a look once again, we have Thunderstroke only at 27 stacks. This is not what you like to see. Scroll of Identity still 13 out of 20. Not what you like to see either, but Reborn Knights have quite the big lead. So, tributes have been even up. Reborn Knights have an advantage in multiple ways. They have structure advantage, keep is exposed, keep is not exposed. So next boss they pick up in the top lane, they can march down with and pick up a keep and or even end the game. So
Shall we see who gathers
16s are nowhere to be found yet for CGL White, and things are looking a little gray for them, or maybe a little grim, as the future is there definitely uncertain. Because if this tribute goes through, they're going to have to hope Reborn Knights have a very mediocre tribute like their previous one. They're really, really working towards it, but they have no one to soak the 16. They need that top lane, which really they needed one person to go there ahead of time. 16s have been picked up. They're looking for it. The stun from Pokecheck. Nice follow up from Crafty Devil. The Hanzo arrow onto 2. No one going down at this point. Fabre getting melted, and the tribute has been picked up. Breeds will get the Ancestral just in time. Ardent Defender as ponies deep into the backline trying to escape. Fabre trying his best here to try and get the damage, but it's not going to be good enough. Lorinado comes out. Crafty Devil coming on in with the big old stun, and the Pie Maker poking him on down like a nice lattice on a pie. Now, tributes up, 2 are down, and they're looking for the keep. They're actually marching through mid lane, which is fine. They're also getting Pie Maker to pick up the siege simultaneously. He'll hop on over the wall. This is going to be ballsy if they try to end the game, but they could potentially do it. Odds are they're not going to. They're going to make the smarter play, which is going to be get 2 keeps together as a team, and they already lost the bottom keep. At this point, Regen Black pretty much has this game in the bag. All they need to do is wait for their boss camp. Literally, they should just go grab anything and everything that's safe and call it a day. Sit at your boss camp for the next minute and 30 seconds and have one person safely soak. That's it. Literally, that's it. Because it's 19 versus 17, and this is when they want to fight you, right before 20 is picked up. Or they should want to fight you, and that looks like they're looking for the fight, potentially. Poke check, sitting in the bush. Rainer does have his Raider to be able to get some vision as well. Breeds will poke out, or spot out Pokecheck, the slide across, and he'll have nowhere to go. Pokecheck getting murked. The arrow coming on in from Pie Maker on the side. Lorinado, almost a little counter synergy there, but Soul Man will be going down. Central will connect, but Fabre next up on the hit list, as is Rhaegar. And Reborn Knights take this in relatively easy fashion, and they will march their way to the core and win it.
blue team's core is under attack?
Reborn Knights looking super good. And I feel like the biggest problem this game was actually the ETC. The ETC was an absolutely terrible pick that netted them no value. If we take a quick look, we're going to see, well, we can't actually see the stats there. We're going to take a quick look here. Core's still not down, but Core is about to go. Diablo, ETC, Urel, Blaze. Blaze basically didn't tank that game. Diablo did all the tanking for him. So Reborn Knights looking very good. You have Deckard and Rhaegar almost equal on healing overall that game. We have Diablo doing the most damage that game with those lightning breaths. Rainer coming on in with a close second, finally with Hanzo. Now, Fabre did the most damage, but I feel like that's in part because Cassia got no value. I mean, she didn't finish Thunderstroke until basically the end of the game. So CGL White, I feel, was out macroed in the first game. Second game, they were just outdrafted. And it wasn't a draft that they lost because their enemy drafted so much better than them. It was that they drafted so poorly to me. And because they drafted so poorly, that they just got really destroyed on the macro play. And if we took a look at the end there, all keeps stood, Fort stood in the mid lane, and they lost all three keeps pretty much simultaneously. So that's pretty much the worst scenario you can possibly have, and a 17 versus 20 deficit at the same time.